Welcome back to Backyard Cars, and today, well, we're moving the brake stuff around and putting in a line lock, roll control, you know, burnout button, and maybe some other stuff. So I've already got some of it done. So let me get you up to date. You know, yeah. Well, as you can see, maybe you can't see, I don't know. I've got the proportioning valve, combination valve, whatever you guys want to call it. I call it a shuttle valve because it doesn't proportion anything. It just, it shuttles, you know? And I'll explain that to you in a minute. But anyhow, I got it moved up here and I got some brackets made and I got a new master cylinder. And it's still disc drum because I returned the old one, that was bad. And I ordered a disc. I searched and did the miking thing and I think I got the right one coming. But the disc drum worked for a while, so we'll just stick it back in. Anyhow, we got to get this mounted up here, and I started doing all this, and then I realized, well, I think that I read wrong on the line lock. I think that I was going to put the line lock between the master cylinder and the shuttle valve, but then I realized, well, that's going to cause the shuttle valve to shuttle. So we're going to take that back apart now. We're going to clean it up a little bit. We're going to get it figured out where it needs to be correctly and get all the stuff done right. So let me grab all that stuff because, well, it's way over there. And we'll start disassembling what I already did new and do it the correct way. Because, well, guys, I'm not a pro. I'm not a dragger. I'm not a burnout guy, I've done all that stuff. I played in the mud with mud trucks. I went to the track with mud trucks. I went to the track with drag cars. I, went to the skid pad with an underpowered beast, kind of like this one. I've done all of it, but I'm not a professional, and I don't claim to be a professional. So I messed up a little bit, and we'll get it fixed, because, well, I'm good at fixing stuff I've messed up. So let's get on to that. Real quick, we're going to take you to school, because I'm the best teacher there ever was. Not really. I really don't even know what I'm doing. This is the sensor, though, that goes inside the shuttle valve, right? Some people, they call them all sorts of combination valve and proportioning valve and all this stuff. But this, on your A-body GMs, and I think even G-bodies and some of the Novas, this is not a proportioning valve. Proportioning valves are for the single master cylinder that sends out one line, That one line goes into a proportioning valve that distributes pressure to all four wheels. This does not do that. This goes to a dual master cylinder, one for the rear, one for the front. And this just goes in and comes out the back. And this goes in here and comes out two lines on the front, but it doesn't proportion anything. It just gives you two ports out. So we don't have to split it anywhere else. We don't have to put another valve in line to split. So what this actually does is there is a valve inside here that moves back and forth. And if you're cruising down the road and you romp on the brakes and your rear line brakes and all this pressure goes psh and squirts out, it doesn't build up pressure. This shuttle valve actually slides back and plugs that hole so that you can still use your front brakes, right? Still allows pressure to be built up for the front brakes. And if your front line blows out, well, it's going to move to the front and block that. And the sensor, well, the sensor is, let's try to get it up in here. The sensor wiggles. See that? And that's how your brake light comes on. If everything's working good, it's right in the center and no light is on. And if you blow out your rear and that shuttle valve moves to the rear, well, it kicks that way and grounds out and causes the light in the dash to come on. So if your light on your A-body or your old 60-something Nova, or a lot of GMs using this shuttle valve. If that light's coming on, well, it's because your shuttle valve is shuttling, you know, and something ain't right. Now, sometimes these things jam when they shuttle, and it is a booger to get them loose. It shouldn't be that way. You should, essentially, if it shuttles to the rear, right, and you fix your rear line, just bleed the front first. Just go up there and crack one loose and step on the pedal, and it'll cause the shuttle valve to go back to the middle point. Then you close the valve, put this tool in there, which, you know, don't move. You just screw that down in there, and that holds the shuttle valve in place. Then you can bleed your brakes correctly. Pull that back out, screw your sensor back in, and you're good to go. And I know some of y'all are like, well, I've never pulled that out. I know, sometimes you can bleed the brakes and it don't trigger the shuttle valve. But if it does, well, you need this tool to make sure that you can hold the shuttle valve in place while you bleed your brakes correctly. And it's a hassle. It's a total hassle. Now, with that said, if you have a disc drum proportioning valve here, shuttle valve, disc drum shuttle valve, and you put disc brakes on the rear of your car and you don't change this to a disc and you don't change your master cylinder, chances are you're going to be all right. You're just not going to clamp down real tight back there. The calipers are not going to squeeze like calipers should squeeze on the rear disc, right? Summit, Jegs, all them places are going to tell you got to change all this, and you do if you want disc stopping power in the rear. And I imagine that's why you put disc brakes on it. So change it all out. Now, if you change this to a disc and you put disc on the rear and you don't change the master cylinder, well, you don't have equal pressure coming in here. So as soon as you stomp on the brake, well, it's going to shuttle to the rear because it's not equalized pressure coming out of your master cylinder. Less pressure back here, more pressure up here. Now, another thing, if you do disc on the rear and you don't change none of this stuff, when those rear calipers, those rear pads start to wear, well, that reservoir on the back for the drum setup is not big enough. So as it starts to wear, the fluid is going to start going down, and eventually you're probably going to suck air because those calipers hold a lot more fluid than a wheel cylinder does. So I don't know if I learned you anything because I'm not a good teacher and I'm probably wrong on some of what I said any damn way. But that's a good idea of what's going on with your GM brake system. Now, me, I changed, this is a PV4 disc, but I didn't change the master cylinder because I couldn't find the right one and it was a booger, and now I got the right one coming, but we're just going to stick this in here, like so, in the car over there, because this is the old one, and I heated this one up pretty good, and she was stuck. She was actually stuck, shuttled forward. So, what we're going to do is we're just going to twist this in and we're going to leave it in there for now so the shuttle valve can't shuttle, and we're going to use our disc drum master cylinder just so we can move the car around, maybe creep it on down to a Cars and Coffee Saturday, and but we can't really go do no driving, or because we're just going to be messing this thing back up again and having to bleed them. Well, I got to bleed them either way, but we're just going to leave that in there while we do all this fancy and stuff that we're going to do. And then when the master cylinder comes in, that's disc, we'll leave this in there, we'll set it up, bleed it, all that good stuff, and then put the switch back in so my brake light works. Although, I don't really care. I can feel in the pedal when it's no good. Alright, so that was the Backyard Cars non-education seminar. And I'll expect you to send $5 for that. You know. Isn't that how they do that on the seminars? You got to pay to get in, and then they teach you nothing. So I'm a professional. That's what they say. All right, thanks for watching this, and let's get back to the brake lines in the car. So we got you all up in the teeth here. And like I said, you know, I was going to just put the line lock in between the shuttle valve and the master cylinder, but apparently when you lock it up and let your foot off, it's going to cause the shuttle valve to shuttle to the rear, essentially creating a problem. So, although I don't like it, we're going to have to put a T in down here, plug this line, run the bottom line to the T, right? No, we're going to have to put the line lock in the bottom line. That's going to be fun. So, let's get started on that. All right. So here's our T that we're going to have to put in down here and get those two lines to hook together. We're going to plug the top line here. I know a lot of people use the top line, but in my case, well, it's going to be easier to come out the bottom down into this T. I don't know how I feel about this, you know. But I've always been one to not, you know, want to use adapters and stuff like that. Well, why aren't you going in there? Okay. Adapters and T's and all that. I've always been taught that, well, that's not good. And here I am. Maybe I should put that back here. Then I'm getting too close to that stuff over there. So I'm just thinking that a nice tight spiral in might be the best option. Get a piece of PVC or something to twist her around on. What do you think about that? I don't know. I'm just saying. Hmm? I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough strength to twist on this like this, but this is how I've always done the piping. Gonna edit our failures. Nope. We're gonna leave our failures in there for the world to see. I know some of you are like, what are you doing? Well, fella, that's what I was doing. Look at that. It gets us pretty close, right? Do a little bit of bendy bobbing. Something, right? So we're gonna go in there? Did we make it where we wanted to? I don't know. I mean, I'm winging it. Looky there, huh? I'm actually feeling pretty good about that. What do you think? Can you see that? Huh? It's way down there. Okay, okay, I'll get you in there real quick. I'll pop you down. What do you think about our twisty do dab? That looks professional, huh? No kink, I don't think. No pun intended. But that's pretty decent. I mean, I can live with that. You know, I can definitely live with that. All right, let's get back to what the rest of it. All right, so now this is probably going to be where she gets tricky on me, because I have to go from there into my line lock. Down here up to the line lock. And then from there over to the line lock. So I'm probably going to have to flare one, but can one of these things get me where I need to go? You know, one of them pre-made jabber jobbers that I've done from here. Okay, that might work. Let's twist on that. Yeah, everything's a little bit loose right now. Just bear with me. Okay, I gotta get the line lock over here in that bracket, and I skipped a step. Apparently I skipped a step. It's half the fun of a test fit, you know, is not knowing what you got going on. Yes, this is my jerry rig line lock contraption brake doohickey. Okay, that looks good. Where's the line lock? Alright, and if I measured this wrong, this won't fit. You don't, listen, I don't know, I did what I had, you know? You can, that was a piece of tubing that I hammered flat because I didn't have any flat, oh, none of these screws are going to fit, but maybe it'll hold there long enough to know that I'm close, but I don't like, I'm gonna have to do something here because I'm close, but I don't like it really. We got wheel travel here. If I come down like this, then my A-arm might hit my brake. That looks better than, you know, how it was. I might have to, well, if I mount that on the back, then you're gonna see ugliness up front. I could mount it here. I could turn and put it over here underneath, but well, then we're gonna run into a problem getting into the top from here. Well, that's gonna be a, I wonder if I can pull that off nicely. It's that short lines like that are always a pain. I'm feeling better about that than the other way. I feel better about this one than the other one. Just get it to thread in. Oh, look at that! Like I made it to be there. Like I did that on purpose. Right? I mean, that was something. We're gonna call that a win. That's not too bad. What are you thinking about that? I mean, that's half the battle. Now, how do we get, yeah. You know, you can only bend these so much, and I know I'm going to have to take some off of this one, huh? 'Cause I gotta go up underneath here or something. How's this? I know somebody right now is cussing me. They're like, hey, there's an easier way. But I don't know it. That's the problem. I don't know what the easier way could be. Where is that fitting in? Oh yeah, it's like right up in the, we're gonna have to go through the center of that one. Problem is we gotta get from here up to here. And I didn't exactly, you know, leave room for all that. So, oh wait. Okay. Okay, let's try that. I know my ghetto fabulous tubing bender is probably not professionally approved. Hey. It's not professionally approved, but again, I don't really, it's what I got. You know, I got an actual one out back. It's not really for this small a line though. What was I doing anyhow? Do you remember? Fun with brake lines. That's what we should have called this one. Fun with brake lines. Your host, Me. Okay. Well, that definitely got me closer. Now we can just do that. Number two. What do we got going on now? Can you see? I'm trying. No, don't cross thread it. Don't do that. Is that in there? Oh, look at that. I know, I mean, basically I'm a pro. Just, you know, basically. Don't criticize it until you've tried to bend these things around with a piece of PVC, you know? I don't know, I mean, that is a cluster, but, you know, if we're rating this on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably a 6. I don't know. I'm free of everything. It'll be, well, pretty shaky. What do you think? I mean, we're in where we gotta go. You having fun yet? I mean, is this brake line fun? Or are you not? I'm not feeling it. Well, I mean, that's plumbed, right? So now all we gotta do is get from here, these two lines, over to here. And of course, I don't have new lines for that. I have the old lines. And there are they used to go from here, way back here, and then way down there. So they're 47 feet too long. All right, we got that bent up pretty darn close, so let's go ahead and jam that one in. What do you think? She's gonna hold, 4 or 5 quarts of brake fluid. I mean, I am gonna have fun getting the air out of this. I guess, The other one I'm gonna have to come under here. I mean, I could cut and flare, but I think I know I'm gonna have to redo these lines for the next master cylinder, so I'm just using what I got right now, and I'll probably buy, some new lines to get this done correctly when yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Because, well, I mean, it's shady. I'm not even gonna lie. But it's there, and nothing's kinked. And now we're just one brake line away from tightening everything up and saying, secure. One more brake line. Well, it took some major fighting and flaring and pain in the butt. And I had to cut that other line down to make this, because it just was not gonna bend where I wanted it to go. And I'm not even sure we got it this time. But it seems like it's the right deal now. I mean, if it's a hand grenade, you got no legs. That's all I'm saying. It's that close. I'm telling you, if brake lines are what you like, more power to you. Because I am not a fan. All you guys up in the north that are always doing brake lines, I don't know why. Why you wake up every day and do that. I don't think I could do it. I'd have to have a helper with me, and well, that poor fella, he'd get all the brake line work. Because I couldn't do this every day. I'd be frustrated. Apparently I got the wrong size wrench. I don't know. Maybe that bolt's burred up. Not, whatever you want to call it. Just wanted its hole seated pretty decently so I can, you know, twist on this a bit. Try to get this other end to fit. And, well, we all know that I'm going to have to do this again. I think I'm going to get some more flexible line than what I got. Because this steel line is not friendly to the flex. But again, we don't have to do this stuff here in the FLA, you know? Not unless you want to just, like me, just for fun, you're like, hey, let's just change up everything. I don't recommend that. Okay, let's... Sometimes it takes a little gentle bending. Oh, you better. You better. Whew. I feel good about that. I feel accomplished, I should say. I don't know about good. We accomplished it. And I know I got the pliers on the nut. The nut is no good and I gotta redo all this anyhow. So it is what it is. But that's attached. That's all the lines. They're on. Yay! Or not. Yay! That's what now I just gotta tighten it all down. Right? Except up here, I gotta leave those loose because I'm gonna have to pull them back off. I think I gotta pull the whole damn thing off actually to bleed the master cylinder. Bench bleed it. Before we stick it in here and bleed that. So we got the master back on. And it's full of fluid and bench bled, and now we got the lines hooked up, and I got the rear line disconnected. Not disconnected, but the bleeder's undone. And we're just gonna let it try and gravity feed down the line a little bit before we start pumping off. So let me peek you at the back. So we got our wonderful bleeding utensils. And I'm not going to apply the vacuum to it unless I have an issue. It's not a good spot here. You know, it's nice and tight trying to get up in here to get to that bleeder screw. But it's loose. And we got no fluid back here just yet, but I would assume not. There's a lot of line up there it's got to fill. And I'm probably going to push on the brake real nice and easy one time before I, you know, do all this. You know how it goes. Pump, 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 release, pump, release, all that good stuff. We're actually going to leave this one open and push the pedal down and then close it and let it up the first go to just kind of make sure that first push just pushes fluid all the way through. And it probably won't push a whole lot, but let's see where we get to. I'm going to have to get somebody to man the brakes for me. No one's going to be happy about that. But that's where we're at. Probably should have took the tires off and bled them. Got to the bleeder screws from there, but I'm being lazy. I don't feel like taking the tires off. So, that's where we are. Let's get to it. Well, this escalated quickly. I can't get any pressure back here to the rears. And I've tried just about every trick in the book. There's very faint amount of pressure back here. And I've cracked the line up there and tried to pump and pump and pump and get pressure to come back, and I can't. And I can crack the master here and get the master to pump up. And I can crack it back here behind the proportioning valve and get it to pump up. And I can crack it right there and get it to pump up there. But for some reason, when everything's hooked together, I can't get nothing to pump the rears up. Very little bit of pressure back there. Well, as you can see, we're all wired up, and brakes finally bled out. I was frustrated. I ended up undoing the rear caliper over there at the bleeder and put my thumb over it and had my son just pumping. And after about 30 pumps, we got some pressure, and then I just kept going and going until it's 50 total pumps, I guess, before it finally got pressure enough to bleed out. Anyhow, we got it all together, and I wired it all up and hit the button, and the pretty little light inside came on, but the solenoid does not engage. It's fighting me, and I'm frustrated, and it rained on me, and there's more rain to come, and I can't get a new solenoid till Tuesday. Great. And I went around and I tried to see if it was something I did wrong, but it wasn't. I mean, you hit the button and the light comes on, so we got ground going all the way through. It's lighting the light. But my solenoid is not engaging, so wonderful. Wonderfulness times 2. Alright, so I guess I'll see you Tuesday when the new solenoid comes, and we can take this out and, you know, yeah, we can take that out and we can re-bleed the brakes again. What a hassle. Get your baby. Jeez. Alright. See you Tuesday. A lot of people wouldn't tell you this, but I wired that switch wrong. I put the light in series, and that was causing a problem. So I took the light out of line, wired it together, and well, the line lock works perfectly. So I redid it. I ran a ground to the light and put the other end on the power, and now the light lights and the line lock locks, and I got brakes. It's actually pretty wonderful. It is the wrong master cylinder still, so I do have the right one coming. And I'm not gonna bother to show you putting the right one in, but I will update you with some flicks on the master that I got, and you know, if it works. But we're done with this video. The only thing left to do now is to go test it out. So let's do that. Let's get some shoes on, because I'm barefoot, and go drive around to a spot on this wonderful Sunday morning where no one's at, especially the cops, and you know, do a smoky burnout and test on it. Yes, let's do that. Well, not too bad, huh? That's what I thought. Pretty decent. I mean, she's lacking a little ponies, but without those rear brakes grabbing, she gets down. Well, I appreciate you watching. We're going to end it here. Go down there and, you know, comment and do the thumb thing, ring the bell, and it's free, you know, and come back and see us for whatever we do next. Maybe we do something with this old clunker over here. I don't know. I know that this week I'm going to get the right master on here, so I got this disc on there, but I'm not going to bother you with that. Appreciate you watching and enjoy the rest of whatever weekend you have left.